A big recruit just committed to Penn State and could have major implications on upcoming seasons. I'm going to tell you who it is, why you should care, as well as other major wrestling headlines that you may have missed from this past week. So let's jump into this first story with Zach Ryder, the number 4 overall junior, making his commitment to Penn State. And he made this commitment over on social media where he said, "I'm extremely excited and blessed to announce that I'll be furthering my athletic and academic career at Penn State University." He said some, typical high school kind of recruit stuff about thanking his family and excited to compete at Penn State. He said he's excited to carry on the legacy. "We're just getting started. We are." And you already see in the comments that Roman Bravo Young, Penn State's 133-pounder, said, "Good choice, bro." The Magic Man, David Taylor, Penn State legend, said, "Whoop, whoop." So there's a lot of excitement surrounding Ryder's commitment, his verbal commitment to Penn State. So why should you be excited about this recruit? Well, he is just a junior right now, which, like I said, Intermat has him at the number 4 overall junior by Intermat, by Matt Scouts, but he's actually the number 13 overall recruit out of all high schoolers right now. And once some seniors leave and graduate, he's just going to move up if his success continues. So what kind of success has Ryder actually had? Well, he's a multiple-time New York State champion. He's also a Fargo champion. Recently wrestled in Flow Wrestling's Who's Number 1, although he did lose that matchup. So competed in the prestigious event. And he even won a bronze medal at the U17 World Championship. So he has those accolades that Penn State's looking for. But other than that, he's right in Penn State's sweet spot. He's a 182-pounder, so he is an upper weight. Like I said, that's Penn State's sweet spot, and the reason that I'm saying that is because 6 titles over the last 10 years have been won by Penn Staters. That's Ed Ruth when he won titles in 2013, 2014. At 184 in the past 10 years. Bo Nickel in 2017, 2018 at 184. Of course, he won another one at 97. And then Aaron Brooks, Penn State's current 184-pounder, who is likely going on to win a couple more titles. So if Ryder continues that success, this could be the guy that really helps secure and cement Penn State as like the school for 184-pounders if they're not already. My biggest takeaways from this commitment is that you don't typically see Penn State recruit large classes. They're not bringing on 10, 20 guys in a class. They're looking at 2 to 3 guys, spending their time, their efforts, and their resources into bringing on those top guys and leveling them up. So that's why I think you should really have Ryder on your radar, is because Penn State doesn't recruit a lot of guys, and the guys they bring in, they really want. So definitely pay attention to him. And speaking of another Big Ten guy who's had success throughout his career, that's Logan Steiber, who was just added to Ohio State's Athletic Hall of Fame. Absolutely well-deserved by Stieber. And you may know that Stieber was a 4-time NCAA champion. Of course, concluded his run with helping Ohio State win a national title as well. And this was just, well overdue for him to be added to the Hall of Fame when it was finally the right time. He's going to go down as an all-timer, being one of only right now 4-time NCAA champions with the likes of Pat Smith, Cale Sanderson, and Kyle Dake. But I think the reason that this is so fitting right now is because this season we could have 2 more 4-timers. We could have Yanni D and Spencer Lee both win their 4th titles. And now that Stieber's in the Hall of Fame and the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame, it's just a good start to the season as we look to cement the history, the success, the excitement of the upcoming 4-timers. Now, there's been some other huge Big Ten news over the past week, in case you haven't noticed, as we continue on with this Big Ten news and the wrestling headlines, is that Big Ten dropped their schedules, at least almost every team did. We're still waiting on a few, including Penn State. So I'll show you what I think their schedule will look like. But Iowa dropped their schedule, and it's looking tough. They'll have Illinois, Northwestern, Nebraska, and Michigan at home. And on the road, they'll have Purdue, Wisconsin, Penn State, and Minnesota. I will be at the biggest Big Ten dual meet of the year with Penn State and Iowa on January 27th. I'm really looking forward to that. And in case you aren't on my email newsletter, that's the Fanco newsletter, if you're interested in joining that, I have it linked in the description below. Send out wrestling headlines every week. But I talked about some of the top highlighted matches that I will be watching this year that I'm really excited for. That's Minnesota at Nebraska on January 13th, Michigan at Rutgers on January 22nd, Iowa at Penn State. That's, the biggest dual meet of the entire year is January 27th, Iowa at Penn State, Friday night duel on the Big Ten Network. Wisconsin at Nebraska is going to be a tight one on January 29th. February 3rd, Penn State goes to Ohio State, and Ohio State is quite the lineup that will put up a fight this year. Michigan at Iowa on February 10th, and then the Big Ten Championships are March 4th through 5th. So it's going to be another exciting year of Big Ten wrestling. But what does Penn State's schedule look like since they haven't released it yet? This is what I think it will look like based on some of their other scheduling opponents that have already put out their schedule. Lock Haven will start the schedule out on November 11th. They have a couple of invites. They'll wrestle Ryder and Lehigh in December, and as well as Oregon State. Head to the collegiate duels on the 19th through 20th. Then get into the meat of their their Big Ten lineup from January through February, with Clarion added on at the end. So it's kind of neat to see Penn State wrestling all of these Pennsylvania schools. I'm excited to see their full schedule released when they do. But I mentioned Lehigh because that's another team that has recently released their schedule. And the biggest dual meet that I'm looking forward to is on December 4th. Penn State travels to Lehigh to wrestle. The reason I'm looking forward to that dual meet is because we're going to get the big Max Dean versus Michael Beard rematch but just matchup that we've been looking forward to since Beard left Penn State because he couldn't get the starting spot over Max Dean, national champion, returning national champion at 197. We're going to really see if Beard is going to find a way to avenge that and really kind of stick it to him like, this is why I'm leaving. Maybe I should have been that starting guy, and we'll see if that happens there. The other team that revealed their schedule over this past week was NC State. Finally announced their schedule, and the thing that I'm most looking forward to, other than the Virginia Tech duel on January 20th, that's the week before the Penn State-Iowa duel. January is going to be such a fun time for wrestling fans. But what I'm really looking forward to is look at this schedule from November through March. The amount of dual meets that the NC State Wolfpack has is incredible. I think they could have between 18 to 20 dual meets competing in all these different events and little events, big events. It's exciting to see where some teams may have 10 duels. NC State's going to have 18 to 20. That's competition that you're getting in, and that's what I love to see as a wrestling fan. And I have one more piece of wrestling headlines for you, which I'll get to in a second. But first, if you're a big Fanco fanatic, you love Fanco wrestling, I want to let you know that my ultimate guide to the college wrestling season will be coming out soon. I'll be putting it together, and I'll definitely be asking for your feedback on it. I put it out last year. It's just a great way to get excited, look forward to the upcoming season, know all the stats. If that's something you're interested in, you're just wait for some more news to come out in the upcoming weeks. But I just wanted to give you that little tidbit to look forward to in this week's wrestling headlines. So what is this last piece of news this past week? That's Bo Nickel is fighting in the Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday night in his third pro fight. So right now he's undefeated, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does. But how do you watch this event, and why should you be looking forward to it? Like I said, it's a college wrestler, 3-time national champion Bo Nickel, competing in a fight on ESPN Plus. This is Tuesday night, and basically, if he wins, especially by submission or knockout, if he impresses Dana White, he's probably going to get that pass. He's probably going to get that contract into the UFC. And right now, I found this interesting in an article on ShareDog.com. He said Bo Nickel remains the only winner since week 1 of this Dana White Contender Series not to be signed on the spot. The only winner. Wow. So should he win, I think we're really likely going to see him get that UFC contract. He's fighting Donovan Beard, who's 7-1 in his pro fights. Bo Nickel's 2-0. And my biggest takeaways is it's going to be exciting to see a new collegiate wrestler fight in the UFC. I don't know if I've been this excited about a wrestler in in MMA, in martial arts, like going, whether Bellator or UFC, fighting. And Bo Nickel is that guy I'm looking forward to seeing. If you want to sign up, you can. I have a link down below at ESPN Plus. You can watch the fight Tuesday night. I believe it starts at 8 p.m. And if you're interested, I recently did a video on the next Spencer Lee. I interviewed who that is. You can check that video out right here because it really gives some insights into who that is and why you should be watching.